Not gonna lie, before we jump into it, this might be my least satisfying finale I've Hello internet, welcome back, welcome to my channel. My name is Tori, and today I have a Project Pan finale. The finale for today is the Beauty A to Z Project Pan for 2021. This was a fantastic ladies collab. Let's jump into it from the top of the alphabet, that is remaining. There is one empty, but we'll get to it when I get to that letter. So first up the bat, for A, from the Limecrime Venus palette, I have the shade Aura. My goal was to hit Pan and Aura. That was not completed. I used it twice since the last update, which is a span of, 3-4 months. This definitely needed at least 15 to 20 more uses to hit Pan. So, sucks. I'm wearing it today. But I don't know why this palette got lost and why this goal wasn't completed, to be honest, because this is one of my favorite palettes, especially color story-wise. So that one, a little annoying. Just like the shades in this palette. So in the Revolutions Amethyst palette, I'm panning a couple different letters. So we have B for bear, C for champagne, and I for imperial. Bear was used 7 times since the last update. My goal was to finish it. I really wish I could have. Champagne was used 3 times. My goal was also to finish it, and I wish I could have. And imperial was used 6. Once again, my goal was to finish. These are easy goals. I just wish I actually was strict with myself when gravitating towards them. I don't know. I don't have any plans for this palette for next year yet. Don't even know if I want to touch this palette next year yet. I'm getting palette fatigue, I noticed a lot with project panning. So I need to actually rotate my collection thoroughly. For D, I have the Urban Decay Beach palette, and the shade I'm focusing on is Daybreak. The goal was to hit Pan, and since the last update, it was only used twice. These take 40-50 uses to hit Pan, and I was nowhere close to doing that. This shade I just forgot about a lot. Similar to this shade, there were times where I didn't even know it was in this project. For F, from the Naked 3 palette, I have the shade Factory. My goal was to hit Pan in it. Since the last update, I did use it twice. I'm wearing it today. But I completely forgot it was being panned half the year. Once again, not the best. Not the best. It happens. This item, I forgot. It's literally on my vanity. So I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to get up and get it. It was the Mini Fenty Hustle Baby highlighter. Since the last update, I didn't even use it because I didn't even write it on my list of products to use because I forgot about it. Looks the exact same. My goal was to finish it, and that did not happen. This one I wish I could have hit. This is the Urban Decay and Jean-Michel Basquiat Face Gallery palette. I'm focusing on the shade Jawbone. My goal was to hit Pan. Since the last update, I did use it 6 times, but I did use this consistently. This was probably the only item out of this project that was used consistently. But the issue is I start to have to go light-handed with this now because I'm too pale. But if I roll this into a project next year, that will be an easy goal to hit Pan on because it already has so much uses and has a nice dip. Next, this one pains me a little bit. For K, I have Colourpop Kiss My Arse. I've only used this one since the last update. My goal was to hit Pan. The dip is just so nice. I really wish I could have hit Pan. I need to do a better job of rotating my Colourpop palettes. So this one will definitely get thrown into something next year. What yet? No clue, but it's going to get thrown into something. Because I really do want to hit Pan on that soon. That would be really nice. Next for L, I have from the Colourpop Zodiac palette, the shade Libra. My goal was to also hit Pan, and this was another one that was doable. Since the last update, I used it 3 times. Another one I really would like to hit that goal next year. It's not going into my A to Z project next year. I will be continuing A to Z, but new lineup, new year. I have the ABH Riviera palette in Monte Carlo. Since the last update, I used it 3 times. I am wearing it today. My goal is to hit pan, and I'm nowhere close. I just didn't gravitate towards this palette. I really didn't touch any of my ABH palettes this year, to be honest. This was literally my favorite shade in this palette. I set myself up with good hopes with this palette because it would pair well with Libra, but I just could not do it. I just couldn't do it. Next, for P, I have from JSC Cosmetics the shade Posh Spice in a mini. Since the last update, I did use it one, and that was finished because it was expired. That expired on December 16th. So that is the one empty rolling out for this project. Very happy it's no longer in my collection. Next, I forgot a ColourPop single. This is the shade Gemini from the Zodiac palette. Since the last update, I used it twice. My goal was to finish it. I got nowhere close. High hopes, but that fell flat. Fell flat with that one. Next, I have 2 from my Too Faced Sparkling Pineapples palette. I have Island Queen for Q. The goal was to use this 15 times. Since the last update, I only used it once. It had 14 more uses left to go. Yeah. And then I have Yum Yum. My goal with Yum Yum was to hit pan. Since the last update, I used it 7 times. It does really have a nice dip now at the bottom. So I definitely can hit pan in that next year. But I didn't touch this palette really ever. At all. Next, from Urban Decay, I have the eyeliner in Starfire. My goal was to finish this. Since the last update, I only used it once. I pulled in too many eyeliners, and then I stopped wearing them. So, I had a hard time with eyeliners and brow products last year in general. So, I'm not too mad at myself for that, but I wish that that one could have... I feel like it still looks semi-new. Next, from Urban Decay, I have the eyeshadow in the shade Tajin. My goal is to finish it. Very ambitious. This is very hardly pressed. I only used it once since the last update. I would like to pan this completely soon, but not yet. Yeah, just not yet. It's too hardly pressed. Next, for you, from ColourPop, I have the Honey palette. My goal with it was to use it 25 times, and if you've noticed, yes, I put the glitter shade back in because it shattered on me. So I cleaned out the pan and as best as I could, and then I just threw it back in here. So the goal was to use it 25 times. Since the last update, I used it 3. It had 17 more uses left to go. I thought it only had like 7 uses left to go. No, I barely touched this palette. Which really disappoints me. Dandy did have to get repressed at one point, but I really enjoyed this palette. Out of all the monochromes, this has to be the one that inspires me the most, surprisingly. So, wish this one I used more, because I thought that was an easy goal for me, but apparently it was a hard one. It wasn't that easy. Next, for W from Urban Decay, I have the shade Whiskey. My goal is to use half of it. Nowhere close. Since the last update, I used it 4 times. I use this a lot more than I use Starfire. But next, for X, I have Sugarpill's Hijinx, which is what I'm wearing on my lips today. Since the last update, I used it once. It has 17 more uses left to go out of its goal of 20. So, I was very bad with this one. Then last but not least, for Z, I have ColourPop's Zested from the Orange You Glad palette. My goal was to hit pan. Since the last update, I only used it once. The dip's not as deep on this one, but I also did use this one most of the time on like a fluffy herb brush. But I'm more disappointed about Libra and Catch My Arse than this one. So, overall for this project, this is the worst I have ever done for a beauty A to Z project. I thought that nothing could beat last year in terms of worth, but this definitely did. This was too eyeshadow heavy. I know I tend to make my projects eyeshadow heavy, but I think that This was too eyeshadow heavy with a lot of stuff that wasn't easy to mesh together. A lot of different tones. Even with the eye look I did today, I had to pull in other stuff because there were ways to make one shadow, like one project looks with these eyeshadows, but it wasn't satisfying for me. Like, it wasn't looks I actually enjoyed. So I think next year's lineup is going to be better for me. At least I hope it will be. It seems like it's going to be a lot easier. Don't forget to check out everyone else who did this round this year of this project. A lot of them have a lot more better progress than me. But yeah, I'm not too discouraged. I'll fix myself next year. I have some ideas brewing in the works. So yeah, if you enjoy me and want to see some project finales that are actually a little bit more satisfying, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that jazz. And peace out, girls go.